It's one of the big tests of our times. How do you try to persuade the European Union to come round to your way of thinking on trade with post-Brexit Britain? Well, the Chancellor, Philip Hammond, and Brexit Secretary, David Davis, are having another go. They're making their case to just one of the 27, Germany, for Britain's financial services sector to be part of any trade deal. In a speech tonight, the Chancellor said the EU needs to spell out what kind of relationship it wants. It takes two to tango, he said.
Philip Hammond was on his travels today. Does Europe need the city too, Chancellor?
Indeed it does.
He and the Brexit Secretary both travelling to Germany to persuade business leaders there of the importance of allowing UK financial services access to EU markets after Brexit. It makes no sense, they wrote, to either Germany or Britain to put in place unnecessary barriers to trade in goods and services.
There isn't another major financial services centre in Europe, and it'll be very important for businesses across Europe to be able to access financial services provided by not just the City of London, but right across the UK.
So, just how desperate are the Germans to make sure UK financial services firms have full access to the single market? Well, not so much.
This is a more or less unthinkable option. I mean, either you're in and you play the rules and you have the benefits, or you're out. I mean, that's the base, and it's really confusing that the British government seems not to comprehend this very simple fact.
But city firms get it, and companies like Protiviti are doing good business advising on contingency plans in case they lose what are called passporting rights to the single market.
Assuming there were no passporting deal, that implies, therefore, that those institutions will have to look at the way in which they physically locate themselves in each of the locations.
So that means moving jobs to somewhere within the EU?
It means creating capability.
But is it a problem if they go? Even with full access to the EU single market, it's thought 3,000 jobs could be lost after Brexit, along with £500 million worth of tax revenue. A no-deal scenario could see off 35,000 jobs and a hefty £5 billion worth of tax. So what's needed to keep the city's access to the single market without actually remaining a member?
It's unambitious, it's unprecedented, and it would have to be underpinned by some very intense regulatory alignment and cooperation, because the EU's point of view at the moment is that unless you are automatically applying EU laws in the internal market, in the single market, you don't get the automatic right to operate in the EU without having a license.
And the government has pretty much ruled that out. So now they have to persuade the EU that their businesses need access to British financial services. Carl Dinnan, News at 10.